I wanted to share a message today because I think somebody needs to hear this. I think it's really important, and it came up very clearly this morning that I needed to share my story, because when you share something, it can help others it resonates with certain people, and they may be struggling with a situation that they're not perhaps fully aware of how they're feeling, what they need to do, etc., etc. I find it impossible. You know, I got married in 2006, June 2006. When I got married, I didn't for 1 minute think I thought it was for life. But I was 26, I think, very naive, very much in love, and very happy with my decision. I didn't once think it was going to go wrong. But that is naivety in your 20s. Like, my 20-year-old self did not know what she truly wanted in life, other than she was becoming a pretty strong student. But I didn't know. I had no idea who I was. How many of us in our 20s actually know who we are and what we want in our future? We don't. I'm sorry. I would love to be much more that I knew, but I didn't. So when I said yes and I started my married life, I wanted children. I wanted them. I wanted a family. I wanted what we get told in society is normal, but I wanted that. I wanted children probably more than anything. And for women, it's funny, we get this such a strong yearning, such a desire that we do put up with certain things in order to get it. And a lot of us, if we're honest, have probably done that. And that's okay. I think that's part of, I don't know, but I think that's understandable for many. And I had my children. They took a long time coming. And a few times in that process, I thought, God, is that the universe sending me a sign? No, they took a long time. And I had to learn pregnancy loss in order to help it with others. I definitely believe that. And I do not regret what happened to my life and what I went through, because it has definitely made me a better person, stronger person, and a better therapist. So I'm happy with that. I've got through my grief. But what I discovered after 10 years of marriage was that the person in my 30s was evolving. She was changing. She was becoming stronger. She was becoming wiser. And a lot of the things that she perhaps assumed was what she wanted, she realised totally the opposite, in fact, that, you know, people do change, we evolve, and we both evolve. So a partnership can become something totally different, and it can really work for some people. So when you're in your 20s, you evolve into another person in your 30th, your third decade, and as you go to your fourth decade, you change again. And sometimes when you're with the right person, you evolve and you adapt together, and you love all these different changes in you. You know, you grieve the old part of you that's gone, and you sort of embrace the new one. But when you're not necessarily with the right person at the right time, that doesn't happen, and you become antagonistic together. And all I will say is I woke up and I changed, and I wanted a different life. But society told me I couldn't do that. Society told me that if you leave your husband, you ruin your children. You ruin them. They will become messed up. That's part of society. You become an outcast in some ways. You become a nuisance as a single mum. And a single dad. I don't think this is just women I'm talking about. I'm addressing both here. But you're not allowed to do this, because society tells you when you marry someone, you marry them for life. And if you don't, then you're going against what everybody else is doing, even though divorce rates are getting higher. And even though in Ireland, we can only just get divorced in I think it was June 1995 or 96. Which one was it? Anyway, then. That wasn't very long ago. Shocking, really, that we were tied to someone for our lives, and we just had to get on with it. And I think COVID has done something. When we were locked down, my heart went out to every couple, and I'm not just talking about women, but every single couple that were in a marriage or relationship that was toxic. And a toxic relationship does not have to be physically abusive. It can be emotionally abusive. And sometimes people don't realise that. They don't realise what they're in until they step out of it. And I think COVID has highlighted, unfortunately, the amount of people that are in abusive relationships and find themselves trapped in them and they're unable to get out. And it's really important that we find the strength and we change our opinion on this, and we support people as they decide to be brave enough to step away. And a lot of people have said to me, because I do treat women and men that are going through divorce, that are separating, it's the biggest, hardest thing many of us have ever been through, because a lot of the pitfalls that we fall into, so when you get divorced or when you separate, sorry, I'm not even divorced yet, and I'm 5 years separated, and I've left how many solicitors? I can't tell you. And every one of them, when I stepped in, said, right, what are you going to take him for? How much do you... And I thought, this is not the way I want to be. This is not who I am. And I hate that way that we are and way the society has made it. And hence I'm still where I am. But I think it's really important that we support people that we know if they are separating. And we stop judging. And we stop caring, if you're that person, what other people think. And do not worry, because let me tell you this. I left, my children were young, very young. And I'm so happy that I was able to do it. And I will also tell you, I have the most incredible family that financially supported me for the first year, because I don't know whether I could have done it without their help. But have my children been messed up because of it? And I tell you, it's the guilt thing that you think, God, especially at Christmas, you know. My kids are incredible. They're blossoming. And do you know why they're blossoming? They're blossoming because they're not in a toxic environment. They're not listening to arguments. They're not listening to bitterness, anger. And children, even if you think you're not fighting in front of them, will pick up on every single aspect of your relationship if it's wrong. And they will process it in a way that you're not aware of. So if you think, oh, it's okay, we don't argue in front of the children, or we keep this between us, they pick it up. They absorb it. And that is far more damaging than being able to get out of that environment and allowing them space and time in a safe place. And it's finding that safe place. And why I'm saying this is because we need to support people in our families or our friends, in our networks, that have made the decision since COVID that they do not want to be in that environment. But financially, it's really hard because you have to find somewhere to live. And if you know, in Ireland, there's a housing crisis, huge crisis now. We can't get anywhere. But family need to come together and actually support each other rather than judge. It's a massive thing. And I'm seeing it more and more often now, that people are just not happy to shut up and put up. We have a life and we need to live it, and we need to be supported in that. So I'm just putting this out there today because it came up in my morning meditation that I needed to share part of my story. And I'm sharing it. And let me tell you that when you find the strength, it is the best thing you will ever do. And it is incredible. It's absolutely life-changing. But it's a hard road. It's a hard road. But if you have the support there, you know, it means so much. So I'm hoping that this resonates with someone out there. And I'm hoping that this can help. And there are so many places you can go to. Just look out, start exploring. Women's Refuge in Clonmel is incredible. They're inundated now, both for men and male and females. And also there is legal aid available for those because divorce is so expensive. There are different avenues. Just start exploring it, and, you know, take care.